Good evening all, and welcome back to the next instalment of Division 2 in RSF1. I'm Primus Gaming, and joined with me is Vettel SF71. How are you doing, mate? It's been a little bit since we were on the comms together. Yeah, hopefully it'll be a good one, today, because it looks like we got a full grid. Practically. As soon as Peachy Pig, new driver, as soon as Peachy Pig gets in a car, really, we'll have 19 drivers, which is going to make for a good Hungarian Grand Prix. I actually personally have to say, Vettel, the Hungarian Grand Prix is probably one of my all-time favourite tracks. Not because of previous league racing experience. I mean, my season 1 race around here was really great. Season 2 was terrible because I got taken out after turn 1. But generally, I absolutely love this track to bits. I'm not great at it. It's a beautiful track, and it's amazing to even watch races on. Do you agree, or is there another track that's sort of more closer to your heart? That's actually quite good actually. Singapore without walls, because in the first, as you just exit the first sector, there's a very tight left-hander which you could take in 6th gear flat out. But obviously, if you go too wide, even just a couple of wheels going off the side of the curb, that'll exceed the track limit. And then if you're in a qualifying, that's an instant invalidation, or if that's race conditions, that's a free warning. But I mean, other than that, it is all right. But I do hate that chicane in the second sector though, because the bumps are so huge. But yeah, that's my opinion on the track. Also, I think this country, the Hungary, I think the Hungarian anthem is probably one of my favourites as well. Like, if it's going on in the telly, I will make sure I catch that anthem, because I think, there's many countries with beautiful national anthems, but I think Hungary takes the cake. The Russian one's good. Well, I admit, when I saw the 2020 Russian Grand Prix's national anthem, I enjoyed that. I always like to catch every country's national anthem. UK, I know, obviously, God Save the Queen, we hear that all the time. So sort of like, to me, it's sort of like, I'm patriotic for my country, but I get a bit bored hearing the same anthem over and over again. But then, the German Grand Prix, the the German anthem, the Italian anthem, what else is there? The Dutch, Austrian, I do like hearing all of them. They really go in. I think the Monaco's one is quite unusual to hear on the podium, obviously because Charles Leclerc being a Monegasque driver, hopefully I'm saying that right. If he wins a race, you're going to hear those anthems for quite a while, because the Monaco national anthem mixed with the Italian national anthem, that's good for 5 or 6 minutes just standing on the podium, just waiting for it to end, and then you can finally claim your... Just watched the 2019 Belgium or the Italian Grand Prix, and if you can skip to the end, just give it a listen to, and you do think this is dragging on for quite a bit. Yeah, until Ferrari in 2020 improved their pace. I mean, they did pretty good in Portimao, which it was also a very entertaining race. Also, I know a lot of people who watch this stream, watch the streams in RSF1. I know a lot of you are not Lewis Hamilton fans, and I personally am a Ricciardo supporter, but I think congratulations are in order to Lewis Hamilton for becoming pretty much the most successful Formula One driver in F1 history by beating Michael Schumacher's total wins of 91 Formula One wins and winning his 92nd race in Portimao. So yeah, congratulations to Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, I know a load of people are kind of sick of seeing him on the podium, myself included, but you got to give the man credit where, like, he's actually become probably the F1 driver of the century. Probably of the decade, at least. Because I still think the best Formula One driver out there, in my opinion, is Ayrton Senna. Because I do know Ayrton Senna wasn't always the cleanest driver. I mean, there was the incident in Japan where he crashed into Alain Prost, which gave him the championship title. But Senna did make a couple of moves which I thought was very admirable, especially in I think it was 1992 or 91 when Eric Comas crashed his car in Belgium, and Senna pulled over, got out of his car, and quickly turned off the screaming Ligier to stop the car from potentially exploding from having his foot jammed on the accelerator while he was unconscious. So I have to give Senna that credit. He put his life on the line and saved a man's life. And Eric Comas even thinks that Senna did save his life. That's why I think when we get to Imola, I think we will see some tributes to Ayrton Senna, purely because of the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, and that was a very dark weekend of the entire F1 history, I think, in my opinion. And I know loads of drivers had fatal accidents, but they thought F1 cars were extremely safe. But after that Grand Prix weekend, Senna became the last person to actually, unfortunately, die on track from 1994. 20 years after, obviously, we had the accident in Japan with Jules Bianchi. But yeah, I think, unfortunately, even though the deaths were horrible, I think that helped the sport improve its safety qualities to make F1 to how it is today. So even though it was terrible, their tragic deaths, and it should never have happened, it's thanks to those horrible days we learned our lessons with car safety. So, for example, the Halo, the year it got introduced, Charles Leclerc actually survived a car flying over his head in Belgium. That was Fernando Alonso's McLaren. And thanks to the Halo, Charles Leclerc was completely scratch-free. Well, it's like if you know, no matter what, you're gonna, you want to take it, but like you have to play a certain hand. He would probably do it because remember back in 2016, he was playing so heavily like aggressive in terms of defence to force Sebastian Vettel to overtake Nico Rosberg. So Hamilton was playing a very different game to allow Vettel to take Rosberg, so Rosberg would lose the championship. And he did clearly do it. You could see his intentions back in that Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi. He wanted Rosberg to fail, because obviously he wants to win the championship. You want to take everything. But his tricks unfortunately didn't work in that day, and Nico Rosberg came out on top as maybe it may have been P2, but he took the crown of world champion. Yeah, and a load of people got very angry when Nico Rosberg actually retired from Formula One shortly after. When I actually think he was actually completely justified. Oh. Vettel, have you included your audio?
I have included it.
I don't think anyone can hear you, mate. And try once you tick and unticked it and reticked it.
Can you hear me now?
Tell me. Right. Lovely jabbly. All in order. Everyone panicked because they couldn't hear you there, mate. But yeah, now we're back underway. Anyway, so where was we?
Well, let's go on to the qualifying. It's full wet conditions.
Yep. I think with these qualifying conditions, I think it might be intermediates in Q3. It's full wet. It doesn't look like the rain's going to let up for the moment. Oh, okay, and then Stygian invalidates they're going through the third sector. I think this rain is definitely going to stay heavy for the remainder of the session. Might calm down in Q2 or Q3.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, actually, no. Full wet is what you want, especially if you're going to because it always brings out the most action and the surprises.
True. I do remember good times purely in wet weather back in Season 1, F4. Like lap 1 was dry, but then as we got to like lap 2, rain instantly came down. There was intermediates all the way, and it does make for pretty good, pretty good racing. But then these guys could be on a dry race and obviously a wet quali. It all depends. I haven't really seen a weather report.
Yeah, wet races are always delivering big racing, I think.
And I've noticed, probably some of these people were here last week when I was away. But I noticed we've got a couple of new faces in F2. We've got FFR Milan in the Mercedes. We've got HCR Fearless and Peachy Pig. So a couple of new faces. Also, it's sad to see the disappearance of Braver Container and Moronix, because I think Moronix actually has left as well.
Moronix has stopped league racing.
Oh, that's a shame. He was a really good driver. I mean, we've seen some good performances from Moronix all the way through seasons 1 to 3.
Yeah, champion season 1 in F3.
Yeah. So he has got something to take home, but I think it's purely because F1 2020 hasn't been the most stable in terms of online gameplay. So unfortunately, it has sort of killed the spirit of a few league races, not just in RSF1, but I imagine other leagues as well. Purely because sometimes you get a sound glitch, or it'll kick you out of the game, or you'll get frame rate problems.
There's a new glitch which is even more game breaking than all of them. If you leave and then rejoin before the start of the race, there's a chance that your tyres will be minus 273 degrees Celsius, which is absolute zero.
What? That might as well be in the Ice Age.
Yeah, it happened to Gerald Limitless, and he was quite vocal about it on Twitter. It happened to him in WOR.
Oh! Sorry sorry to cut in there. If he was on board there with Shrimper, he just got through the first sector, and the Alpha Tauri of Lukey was facing the completely wrong direction. Luckily, it didn't look like it hampered Shrimper's lap at all. But I was on board with Shrimper on the cockpit cam.
Lukey's gone wide again.
Yeah, I think Lukey sustained pretty bad damage. Shrimper, however, he just purpled the first sector going through Sector 1. How is the Ferrari driver going to do in Sector 2? Not fast as second sector. I just love this track. Like, just watching this track is spectacular. Like, I can't get, like... it's my favourite one of all time. I like driving Monza, but I love watching Hungary.
In racing, I don't mind watching Hungary. Real life, I don't like it at all. I think it's a very, very boring track with limited overtaking. Oh, big moment there for
Second
Shrimper.
place! Nice work, Shrimper. Second place there for the Ferrari driver, even with that slight wobble of the back end of the car. I think that would have potentially gotten him pole in Q1 if he didn't have the little wobble.
Yeah, he probably cost himself about maybe 2/10, but it compromises your run up to the line as well, so it's hard to tell at what sort of time he would lose. Shrimper is going for another lap and he's a 10th up in Sector 1. I would probably stick on board because this is looking like a very nice lap.
Who on board with who?
Shrimper. He's a 10th up in Sector 1 and he's going through the chicane.
It looks like the rain's calmed. It's not as intense as it was when we started the qualifying session. I think we might be looking at intermediate conditions near the end.
Maybe. Yeah, it's calmed down quite a bit. I'm not sure if
K-Mag says Shrimper is definitely one of the people to look out for. He says, yeah, he's the one that worries me the most, so that means Shrimper around here is definitely a threat.
Bit of a walk up bubble there. Yeah, 29.4. Oh, that is a fast lap.
That is good. And 5 minutes and 20 seconds left. And we're seeing a few more wet tyre runners coming out of the pits. Grantastrophe actually is debating putting on the intermediate compound tyres. Beast Pro, the other Ferrari, boxing.
Yeah, Milan is on the selected. I write the name F4 Milan. It's a solid name.
Oh, there's been a crash in Sector 1. It's Daniel, the Portuguese driver, going through the first corner, lost control somewhere, and unfortunately...
Oh, he's lost control again.
Oh!
There's the front right now.
I think that affected the Alpha Tauri. I was trying to pass him. And there's another Alpha Tauri off. Oh, it's Peachy Pig.
Oh.
Peachy Pig crashed his car.
Oh. The corner after thingy. Oh no, are you sure it's a crash?
I don't know. Could you check the race director and see if that was a DNF or a retirement? And no front wing at all for Daniel in his McLaren. Troublesome because if he doesn't keep the car on the road.
Peachy Pig terminal damage, yeah. It's a DNF.
Yeah, he crashed the car.
Shrimper going faster again. Oh no, he went in the pits.
Well... Oh my god! Just being on board of that McLaren scares the daylights out of me. Because he's got no front wing and he got ever so close to the wall. And look at Brutal Reapers. It's just drifting that racing point. Oh, he's so close to hitting the wall. I think, yeah, this is definitely intermediate conditions. It's too heavy for the wet tyres to control.
Yeah.
Catastrophe, actually, being the first car to take those inters out.
Yeah, it looks like everyone is selecting the intermediate tyres at the moment.
Oh, Peachy Pig's gone.
I'll get them back in.
Meanwhile, while Vettel's getting Peachy Pig back in, classification so far over Q1. Obviously, Peachy Pig being the only car to retire from the qualifying session after suffering terminal damage from crashing in his flying lap, or out lap, or whenever. HCR Fearless is in 18th place, Breezy 17th place, Daniel 16th place, Beast Pro 15th, FFR Milan. Oh, someone just jumped up. Beast Pro 16th, FFR Milan 15th, JJ Hudson 14th, Peanut 13th, One Shot 12th, Brundle 11th, Muddy Biscuit 10th, Lukey 9th, 8th Stygian, 7th is HCR Fearless. He actually jumped up the 7th place there on the compound tyre, surprisingly. Brutal Reaper's 6th, Grunt 5th, Cookie 4th, Eitz is 3rd, K-Mag 2nd, and Shrimper being on top with that very good time on the wet tyre, and now actually hoping to do even better on the inters.
Yeah, majority of the drivers at the moment have selected the intermediate tyres. I don't think Rippling One Shot is going to get enough time to go out.
Blake Brown on the chat says, going to practice on time trial for 20 minutes.
Oh, Blake Brown is PG.
Kind of practice is probably more suited for before the Grand Prix. Because time trials is not always accurate.
No,
really.
You get too much grip in time trial, that's why it's a bit unrepresentative of pace. True
pace, yeah. So I've seen people like Quaker Oats in used to be F4 driver, Quaker Oats, and was a clear example of that. Sometimes he'll have a poor qualifying session, but then suddenly he's got monstrous race pace. So I think purposely he makes race setups so he could try and make up for the poor qualifying sessions with a really good.
P1.
Yep, Grunt takes P1. And Shrimper is now actually going through the first sector. Let's see how he does, because he's proven quick around this track. His first sector up on by 0.3 of a second. Drastic improvement.
Fearless is out.
What happened to Fearless? Oh, he retired in the pits. That might be a bit risky.
Yeah, early.
K-Mag at 28.3 because everyone behind HCR Fearless, except for Ripping One Shot, has done a faster lap than him. Oh, sorry, so he's gone on to the intermediates to do another lap. Shrimp has just gone fastest in the second sector. Stygian just takes a 28.2. It's a 27.9. Crikey, we're seeing much more consistent times coming out on those intermediates. People are really finding their feet. What can Shrimper do? 27.4. He goes faster by a full second. Now that is a hell of a lot of time made up.
Yeah, here comes Grunty, P2, 27.5.
Got HCR Fearless is falling down the pecking order even more. Lukey is actually now faster. On a faster lap. What can Lukey do?
Rundle is really under pressure here. He's on the wet tyre and not going to be able to improve.
He's got a broken wing.
But he's also on the wet
tyres. Beast Pro and Breezy. Oh, I think Breezy, he didn't just reset, did he?
I don't know.
But he's struggling on those wets. Look at him slide in the pit lane. But no, Brundle and Ripping One Shot just made it through to Q2 by the skin of their teeth, because Milan, Beast Pro, and Breezy unfortunately had either invalidated or put the wrong tyre on for these conditions, because this is definitely intermediate.
I have to agree. Bit of a mistake there from the Williams guys. Oh, right, I didn't notice.
Fortunately,
Reaper's actually went top. 27-2.
Oh, Racing Point on top ahead of Cookie and Shrimper. But luckily for the Williams boys, that's a mistake they can come back from, because Brundle wasn't eliminated, but he got so close to it. So hopefully the team can take that as a lesson and just try and maybe check the conditions, because it is really easy to accidentally misjudge wet conditions, because you think, is it wet? Is it inters? Because when you ask the game, it'll actually just be like, this is wet or intermediate conditions. We don't know why. We don't know what one. Anyways, classification for the drivers eliminated. In P19 is Peachy Pig after his crash earlier on in the session. Breezy in 18th in his McLaren. 17th is Beast Pro in the Ferrari. And FFR Milan is the last car to be knocked out, and that's in the Mercedes. And in the top three, we've got Shrimper in the other Ferrari, Cookie in the other Mercedes, and Brutal Reapers actually takes top of the table in his Racing Point. So, Pink on top at the moment.
Yeah, the Toet guys will be very happy with that, I imagine.
I myself am one, but obviously I'm, as a commentator, remaining neutral.
Yeah, I'm officially unbiased now. I don't race for a team.
You don't race for a team, did you say?
No, I dropped to reserve. The game's not fun enough for me anymore.
Oh, Mercedes is going straight out. HCR Fearless is going on to the medium compound tyre.
Maybe it's going to dry up by the end of the session?
Maybe.
I would have thought.
I think he might be riding on that.
I would have thought everyone would want to do the laps on the inters, so then they get a free choice on the next race, but maybe not.
Interesting plays. Anyways, Cookie is the first car to go out onto the track in Q2. Obviously, even if the weather remains intermediate for a good while, the track is now a little bit more worn in. With obviously, it's sort of proven that Q1, you're not going to get optimum grip. You're going to get optimum grip in more Q3. Q2, you'll actually find a little bit of ground. And Vettel, while we wait for Cookie to go around, I'll let you have the honours of doing the onboard with Cookie. Do you think the intermediate conditions will stay with us to the end of qualifying, or just till end of Q2 by the looks of it?
Well, to spice it up a bit, I hope it dries up by the last couple of minutes, so then it's about who's made the right call, and then it's a bit of a random grid at the end. But it looks like it'll probably stay like the whole session. Right, so coming up to turn 1 onto, well, there's no DRS at the moment because it's wet. You want to pick in the wet around about the 150 metre board to start braking. It's a very harsh braking zone, easy to lock up. Straight back onto the power, which Cookie does, loses the rear end slightly. Keep quite a wide entry into turn 3. Then you want to try and clip the apex and then let the car drift out, maybe get a bit of curb on the exit, which Cookie doesn't. Now on to probably one of the hardest corners on the calendar, especially track limits wise, because it is so fast. Cookie getting away with a little bit of a cut, keeping it nice and tight through here. A bit of a short shift from the Mercedes and up to 6th gear, coming into the chicane. Down to 2nd on the power, losing the rear end slightly mid-corner and exit. Up to 4th, very nice S's section. Coming on to the long right-hander, which is very easy to lose the car on this section because the rear downforce isn't as big as it was last game. coming into the final sector, losing the rear end a slight bit again, but keeping a wide entry and quite a wide and exit of the corner, getting very squirrely at the end, going nice and wide through the final corner onto the power, ploughing down to the line, and he sets a 1 minute 27.1.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, Grundy with a 27.5 straight after. Then Brundle.
And I like how Grunt has done a perfect 27.500, so perfectly, perfectly done there.
Yeah, Reaper's doing 27.2 in the toilet car.
Ripping one shot crossing the line of 27.7. I think people might have accidentally applied too much power, maybe lost the back ends of their cars a little bit going through the field, but you can definitely see some drivers did lose time somewhere, because Cookie putting out a 27.1 is a phenomenal time.
Who knows?
We're only just at the start of Q2.
It's just the start of Q2. Because of the gap between the sessions, there'll be more standing water on the racing line, so it's a bit harder to apply the power. So towards the end of the session, if it's still there, then that's your prime time to go and do a lap.
JJ Hudson previously being a quick driver in previous F1 races, F2 races, sorry. Round the last corner he goes. A little bit of back end there, kicking out on him.
27.7.
P7.
It's looking like to get through, you're probably going to need a low, maybe a mid 27. It's about the average. Grunty improving his time by a tenth of a second, well, less than a tenth.
But it hasn't really pushed him up that much. It only really just took fourth from his teammate. And only just beat Brundle by 15 thousandths of a second.
Oh, Grunty nearly lost the rear then.
Oh, we've just lost HCR Fearless.
I don't think that's... Oh, yellow flags at 2 and 3. I think Grunty's...
On board of ice.
I think that might be a crash.
That's a full-on crash. Yeah, that's a full-on crash there. He probably just was going flat out through the through that corner there.
The
and
long right-hander.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think he unfortunately misjudged his speed and into the wall he went.
I found that rear downforce in this game is a bit hit and miss. Sometimes it's planted for a lap and you'll set an amazing lap, but then when you go for your second run at the end, your car will be all over the place.
By the way, looking at Ites' car number, because we're on board with Ites at the minute, next year we will be seeing car number 14 come back to the actual F1 grid.
That is true. A lot of people will be disappointed by that, but in my opinion, they should have got some young talent in there rather than picking up Alonso again.
Well, Haas has picked up a couple of people, which will help him in terms of sponsorship massively, because potential candidates that was mentioned by people in F1 for Haas was Mazepin and Schumacher.
Or Ilott.
Or Ilott, yeah, it's sort of, those are the options, but I'm pretty sure they'll definitely choose Mick Schumacher because Haas falls under the Ferrari's Young Driver program, and currently at the moment, I think if I'm right, Mick Schumacher is leading the Drivers' Championship in F2.
Yes, by 20 points, and I hope he wins it. And
I do as well, because it'd be nice to see the Schumacher name like on the F1 grid again.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be with Haas though. Oh, it's 26.8. No, that is a fat lap.
It would have been nice if he could have probably joined Ferrari, but obviously Carlos Sainz is taking that seat, with Daniel Ricciardo taking Sainz's seat, and actually no one's been confirmed alongside Sebastian Vettel, so we could probably see a double German lineup in Aston Martin next year. We might see Sebastian Vettel and Mick Schumacher.
I doubt that quite heavily. It'd be lovely to see, but Aston Martin is a British brand, and Daddy Stroll owns it, so.
Because Lance Stroll hasn't been given the seat. Unfortunately, Sergio Perez, being removed from the team at the end of the season, he might be going to Williams, and also be a real shame for George Russell.
Yeah, it will be, because it's got a lot of talent, and to be kicked out by Perez, especially when they're keeping on Bottas for another year. I don't know, that might have been a bit of a mistake from Mercedes.
I feel sorry for Valtteri Bottas sometimes, because he has got the ability to win, but obviously Lewis Hamilton being the multi-world champion, he's got the better car, and sometimes when Valtteri's on a really good race, they'll tell him to either move over, or Valtteri just gets an issue, like the Eiffel Grand Prix. He's doing really good, and he suffered with the failure.
He did lock up as well, so.
Oh yeah, that was a mistake on his behalf where Lewis did take the lead, but I mean, like, even a second place, but he didn't get that at all. But that led for an entertaining battle for P3 between Daniel Ricciardo and Sergio Perez. And actually, we still yet to see the tattoo that Cyril Abiteboul has put on.
Very true, very true. But no,
I want to see it.
I think Mick Schumacher will be out for him in the next season. Because he's done all of his tests there. They've got a seat fitted for him, and he's on their pit wall whenever he's at the Grand Prix. So it looks pretty nailed
He'll
on.
probably replace Antonio Giovinazzi in a 25.9 by Schrimper in the Ferrari. He's gone even faster. And Stygian, being the only car to not set a lap time yet, E15, and he's invalidated his lap again.
Yeah, he really needs to get a lap on the board here.
And so both the Red Bull aren't looking too comfortable around here.
No, they don't at all.
And ripping one shot. I mean, JJ Hudson just crossed the line. They're 28.8. So definitely losing time somewhere, and they're feeling that pressure. And apparently it's like a wet qualifying and a dry race, so...
That's what we all want to hear.
The gaming dog. Or doggo.
Is the gaming dog in this session?
Not sure.
Well, JJ Hudson is a 10th up on his best time. If he can make a couple more tenths out of that Red Bull, he might make it through to Q3.
Push Daniel and the McLaren out.
Oh no, Daniel's gone
Never
out
mind.
of fifth.
So he needs to find more than 0.3 of a second to get through to Q3. It doesn't look like, however, he's achieving that.
It's going to be an improvement. Whether it's enough is questionable at the moment. He might have an amazing final sector. Going very wide there. Coming across the line.
So on board with JJ.
27.2.
Ooh! So definitely did pretty good there.
Yeah, whether it'll be enough, I don't know, because K-Mag and Muddy Biscuit, well, actually, everyone below him is on fresh intermediate tyres. Quinty's coming into Sector 3 right now. I do believe he is up on his time. Going quite wide.
Oh, bit of back end there. Oh, the gaming dog goes RSF1 cookie.
Ah, right. Wow, nice sets it there from Gruns. He sets a 27-0, pushing everyone below him down.
Oh, yellow flag in the second sector. That's JJ Hudson.
Yeah, you've been letting people through.
Oh, he just cut the chicane there.
Yeah, I didn't get validated for it though, which is quite interesting.
Oh, he's got damage. He must have spun out and sustained damage. Lukey retires in second place, feeling quite comfortable where he is at the moment. Meanwhile, Peanut, One Shot, Stygian, and Brundle.
Muddy Biscuit,
those four.
not improving that much.
Let's go on board with it. He's a championship leader at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. Last time I checked, he was.
He's proven he's consistent. Sometimes he'll have a poor qualifying session, but he makes up for it again in race pace. There's quite a load of drivers that do tend to do that. Well, let's see what Muddy Biscuit can do. Can he get through to Q3? Or is he looking at being knocked out in Q2? JJ Hudson retires in 8th place where he is. Muddy Biscuit, he actually was down on time when he crossed the line.
Must be going for the second lap now. He really does need improvement. Because Brundle is 3 tenths up.
Our number 42 pushing his way through the third sector, and he's currently behind the Mercedes of Cookie. We've got a Ferrari going around the last corner. I think that's Shrimper starting a flying lap, even though he has no real need to. But Brundle around the last corner,
26.9.
P5.
A lot. Oh, Brittle Reaper's going very wide there. J-Mag coming across the line.
Ripping One Shot. He's done. He's invalidated his flying lap. Meanwhile, Peanut and actually Stygian's now finally coming around the last corner to finish his flying lap. What can Stygian do in a Renault? Round the last corner, crosses the line, and he goes P5.
Yeah, Muddy Biscuit's 3 tenths up in Sector 2 alone. It's looking a very nice lap from the Hayes driver.
So JJ Hudson out. Can Muddy Biscuit push out Daniel in the McLaren? We'll find out now as round the last corner goes the Hash driver, crosses the line, P9 pushes Daniel out. Cookie's also invalidated his lap, so it's up to XFR Peanut.
8 tenths up. It's going to be nipper tuck where he knocks out Cookie, especially makes a little bit of a mistake in the final corner, which we've seen a lot of drivers do. Going a little bit wide, not hitting the prime apex. Coming across the line.
XFR Peanut.
At 26.8.
Oh!
Muddy
And that
Biscuit
puts Muddy Biscuit on the cusp of elimination.
Can Cookie knock him out? No, he's invalidated.
And now into the pits goes the session leader, Shrimper in the Ferrari.
Cookie spun it in the pits. Game corrected it for him now, so it's all good. I believe this is one of the first qualifying sessions of the season where Mercedes has not made it through to Q3.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's get a bottle of water out. Have a drink. Entertaining show.
Yeah, interesting to see whether it's raining in Q3. Currently in the pit lane there is no rain at all, so maybe we'll get a dry Q3 to see some competitive times.
I think people were putting on the tyres because I think the game said there was 15 minutes left of the rain at the beginning. But as we can clearly see, Q2 managed to leave it interesting. As we go over the drivers eliminated, HCR Fearless, the Monegasque driver gets eliminated in P15. In 14th place is Ripping One Shot in the Racing Point. In 13th, it's the second Red Bull of JJ Hudson. In 12th, it's the Portuguese driver of Daniel in the McLaren. He's eliminated as well. RSF1 Cookie in the Mercedes, not making it through into Q3, and unfortunately is out. And the top 3 is Shrimper in first, Eitz second, and Lukey completes the top 3. Very, very interesting lot. But now, Vettel, who's your top 3 for Q3? Who do you think is going to qualify in the top 3?
Well, P1 definitely Shrimper. I don't think there's
Yeah.
a doubt at the moment. Maybe it's wet conditions propelling him up a bit. I don't know. Especially if we see a dry session, it might be a bit hit and miss, you know? Hopefully. Like a bit of exciting action. I'm going to go Lukey P2. He had quite a strong qualifying. I'm going to go Grunty P3.
I think Shrimper pole, Brutal Reaper second, and Grunt third. Yeah.
Maybe we could see a cheeky Alfa Romeo in there. But you don't know. This is 12 minutes in the session. Yeah, Money Biscuit already sits in the soft tyre.
Looks like they can't tell if it's quite dry conditions because the game immediately puts them on the intermediates. It might be too wet at the moment on the track for dry weather tyres.
Yeah, I think it might be. Maybe we'll see a car adventuring. Yeah, we got an Alfa Romeo out of the pits. Is it Ice or is it Peanut? It's Peanut. The number 21 Alfa Romeo.
The track looks quite greasy.
It does. I don't think it's an optimal fine performance just yet. Yeah, DRS enabled.
Oh, DRS just now enabled.
Traffic might be a little bit of an issue during Q3 because obviously the car's a lot quicker now. So following behind cars is a bit more important, really. You can't tow on this track, so there's no advantage to being behind them, and catching cars much slower than you is a lot easier because the lap times are so much faster.
Now XFR Peanut is going to be the first car to do this flying lap. Car number 21. Now pushes through the third sector. Now nearing the... I guess we can call it a hairpin. It's not as tight as the hairpins that we'd normally have. But round that hairpin, the second to last corner. From round the last corner we go with XFR Peanut.
Yeah.
And it's actually weird to see both. We've got both Alfa Romeos and both Williams, so it's like the midfield, or sorry, mostly the back of the field in real life Formula One. They're now fighting for the top spot in Q3.
Well, the cars are all equal in the game, especially in the race. It'd be exceptionally unfair if it was realistic.
Down through the first sector we go with XFR Peanut. He's got very nice tidy lines going through, catches a bit of curb there. Pushing through the first sector, obviously he's got the fastest first sector due to the fact that he's the first car out. I mean, it's looking quite nice actually, this lap. Now over the chicane.
Oh,
invalidates there on the second bump.
who is next? Yeah, Luke is invalidated as well. And he's split nearly. Just catching the car.
Reaper's next.
Yeah, it's Tracing Point. So very, very unclean.
Squirrely chicane. But again, due to the greasy track conditions, it's not optimum grip. The track's too cold, so they're not getting heat into their tyres.
Yeah, not taking the optimal
also,
line through the Reapers. You don't really want to be touching the curb at all. You want to be keeping it just a little bit wider, and then you can carry a bit more speed through.
Around the last corner we go with the racing point, or the tracing point. Crosses the line. 21-1.
I did think we'd be seeing a bit quicker laps than that, to be honest. It's only 4 seconds quicker than the inter times, and the Ike's go to the top with a 20.9 in his Alfa Romeo, number 14.
Grunt invalidated his he actually invalidated his original flying lap, so he'll be going back around again.
Shrimper looks to have made a mistake.
Oh, sorry, it's K-Mag.
Because he's backed
Before
off.
there's a Renault. championship leader, actually.
Good time.
A 20.1. There's actually some really decent times now coming through.
Yeah, so good times.
Car pulled over. It's Peanut. Peanut's missing an end plate. He must have touched a wall somewhere. Shrimp has gone into the pits.
Yeah, I think he might have spun it.
Using another set of softs that he's got. 19.9.
Yeah, Ike's going around again, so 91. Still 8 seconds off pole during previous. I suppose that's track conditions rather than the drivers.
They are trying their best. And now Catastrophe crosses the line, an 18.4.
Yeah, it's really picking up the pace now as the track. I imagine most drivers won't be going out immediately to do laps. K-Mag taking it from Grunty.
Beats him by 700ths of a second, so very close time there between K-Mag and Grunt. An 18.3 by the championship leader, Money Biscuit, who takes provisional pole at the start of the Grand Prix for the moment. Meanwhile, Brundle now begins his flying lap. Vettel, do you want the honours?
Sure thing. Right, so coming out of the exit of turn 1, going through this sector, I want to keep a wide entry. I normally take a bit of curb because it allows the car to rotate a bit better through here. So I normally take the wide line, straight into the air, keep it as tight as possible, move over to the right hand side, maybe mount the curb a bit because it can aid with a bit of traction. Goes wide and validates.
Unlucky to Brundle, but he's got the time to go back in or come back around, depending on how much he's fueled the car and if he's confident on this set of tyres. But he's just got to be careful not to push him now, so he can preserve a little bit of tyre life for the next lap if he's got the fuel.
Interesting to see Shrimp out now on his out lap, because by the time he's done his out lap, then a lap, then another lap to come in, he won't have enough time to do a lap afterwards, where the track might be a bit more green, a bit faster. Might have been a bit of a mistake. We'll see. Yeah,
well,
it's Stitching in the
have to
same
wait and
boat.
see what this Ferrari driver can do, and locks up.
Yeah, he's gone on the pits.
Oh, I think he might have heard you. He might have heard you talking about him. He's like, yep, thank you for the advice, and then just goes into the pits.
Yeah, let's see if Stitching was listening. Who's invalidated his out lap. Yep, he's boxed as well.
I do like how their helmets do match. Like Stitchin's got the helmet that's got the carbon fibre sort of design on it.
Yeah, I see. It's a nice looking helmet. I've always yellow helmets with the runner look quite good with a bit of black on it. I've had the runner since season 1, I don't think. Yeah, sorry, season 1 Abu Dhabi.
You used to originally be a Racing Point driver, didn't you?
I did, yeah, but I dropped to reserve and then tried to get a runner up in the championship. We only got 4th, so it was still good. I think that was my last podium as well, Abu Dhabi season 1.
Oh, so it's been a while since you actually got on a podium then.
Yeah, my last win was Russia season 1.
Same with me. My last time I won a Grand Prix was actually my debut in season 1.
Didn't you win the championship?
No. Tidjosaurus did, actually. I was a championship leader for a while, back in season 1, but unfortunately due to the loss of my dad, my transition of part-time work to full-time work, it's hard for me to attend races. So I actually had to sit out like a good 4 or 5 races because of my job. And pretty much there, I just dropped off But I did get a podium in Abu Dhabi, which was quite nice. But, we got second in the Constructors, which I remember that because I was in Red Bull at the time with my teammate Alco Saints. Yeah, we pulled in a decent second place in the Constructors' Championship even with my absences. So even though we didn't win the Constructors' title, that was sort of a victory for me, especially my debut season. And also it was my debut all entirely as a league racer. And I've only ever qualified on pole once, and that was Italy of the same season.
Yeah, I remember I used to do the commentary for F4 in season 1 with Shane, I think. Might have been Shane, might have been Brundle.
It was definitely Brundle.
Yeah, I thought so. I've been a couple of races with Shane as comms. I think Italy, Monza, season 1 was.
I was my prime, I guess, because especially after my mistake, I still.
Yeah, there we go.
14.8.
It's a good
4
job.
seconds faster, practically. Well, actually, no, sorry, 3.5 seconds faster than Muddy Biscuit's time.
It's a good job that Strumpet and Stygian did listen to what I had to say, as I think they might not have got as high up as they maybe should. Yeah,
I think the Alfa Romeos, I think they're supporting each other. Eitz is Eitz is now behind his teammate. Oh no, he's backed off. Oh no, sorry, they're not. Sorry, I thought Eitz was on a flying lap. He wasn't. That's Catastrophe. I looked for the wrong bit on the thing there. But yeah, there's 40 seconds to go, and this is the final run for all of these drivers now because they don't have any more time to do another flying lap unless they're near the end of a aborted lap. But now we've got quite a few cars going to cross the line. Stygian does a 15 dead, so 2/10 slower. Meanwhile, Muddy Biscuit does a 14.876 and just narrowly misses out on provisional pole for the start of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Brutal Reapers is beginning his flying lap. The Ferrari Shrimper also begins. Williams, a 16.2 from Catastrophe.
I can't imagine Grunty is particularly happy with that lap. Maybe made a mistake. Brundle is looking very quick though. He got purple sector 1 and is looking very racy at the moment. Yeah, purple sector 2.
He just snatched fastest second. Yeah, I was going to say, because Stygian just took the fastest second sector briefly, and Brundle just took it from him right under his nose. So this could be looking like a good lap from Brundle or Stygian. It depends on who can nail the last corner. So on board with Stygian first, because he's now just about to cross a line in the Renault.
15
P3, stays P3. Brundle.
Yeah, 14.4.
Provisional pole! A 14.4!
Here comes Shrimp. Not acing any sector. Quite
No. Big wet pace. Shrimp had it. Peanut goes 6th. Muddy Biscuit stays 4th.
Oh,
Ice goes first with a 14.2.
Here comes Shrimper. Oh,
Brutal Reapers on top.
Yeah, there we go, Shrimper.
And Shrimper 13.9.
Lukey still to cross the line, but he has invalidated.
What tremendous pace. Did Lukey just retire on track?
No, he crossed the line.
Oh, okay, I didn't even see where his dot was. I was literally, as soon as you said Lukey invalidated, I was investigating to find his dot. Vettel, you take the honours with the top 10 for the classification for Q3.
Right, so for Q3 in P10 we have XFR Peanut. 9th we have RSF1. Oh, sorry, just Stygian. 8th we have The Biscuit. 7th we have Lukey 1210. 6th we have RSF1 K-Mag. 5th we have Granty. 4th we have Brundle. 3rd we have RSF1 Eitz. P2 we have Brutal Reapers. And P1 is Shrimp 84 in the Ferrari.
And now we wait for the start of the Grand Prix, which I'm now looking forward to.
Yeah, the run up to turn 1 is very important at Hungary. 2015, a prime example of that. Mercedes 1-2, and Sebastian Vettel managed to get a brilliant start. Went down the inside of both the cars and ended up winning the race.
And looking like it's nice and dry now. Oh, sorry. Perfectly dry conditions. You can see like tiny bit of clouds, but as reported by drivers, it is a dry race, so no chance of rain. If there is, it's not going to transition to intermediates because it does do that, where the game will say there's no rain coming at all from start to finish, but then you get a little light drizzle. But like it's not quite enough to push out the inters or kill the DRS assistants. But as of yet, right now, looking quite nice. A bit patchy.
Yeah,
Still looking pretty good.
It's looking nice and warm, which Hungary is notorious for. It's either extremely wet or it's very hot. I believe it has this third hottest ever F1 race, which I think was 1986, the year it first started, where Nelson Piquet did a sliding overtake on it and sent it around the outside of turn 1, was it?
I think I remember. Yeah. I think that's when Senna was back in his Lotus, wasn't it?
Yeah. 1986, the Lotus 98T, I think. Very nice car, very good looking one. And
I did
very
like.
nice engine.
Yeah, I think back then those cars were quite nice. I mean, I do think, obviously they weren't noticed because they weren't championship winning cars or race winning cars, except for the time when Panis won the 1996 Monaco Grand Prix. But quite a lot of the back running teams actually had some really cool looking liveries for their cars.
Yeah.
Except for Peugeot back in 1996, because I have to say, the black, the gold, and the silver just did not work for me. It looked horrendous.
I thought it was blue. The Ligier.
No. Ligier Peugeot was blue. I meant the actual Peugeot team. Their works team.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
It was ugly, the way they made that car. I mean, Ligier looked quite nice. And then when Prost actually became a Formula 1 team, the Prost cars weren't bad. They looked pretty nice.
Yeah, they were hideously unreliable and not very quick, though.
yeah, they were horribly. And then you had the Stewart's team, which then became Jaguar, and the Stewart's were actually just pure white. Like, Prost's were pure blue, and the Stewart's were pure white.
Yeah, Stewart famously taking a victory in the 1999, was it European GP at the Nürburgring?
Yeah, it was Barrichello, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Rubens.
And then I think, didn't Irvine drive for them? Or was he in Ferrari?
No, it was John Herbert who won the race.
Oh, yep. I still can't forget the time, because they were both powered by Ford at a point, weren't they?
Yeah, it was Ford.
Cosworths, wasn't it?
Oh, the Cozzies, yeah.
And like they both didn't even get off the line at one point. One car blew up, and then when they got rid of that one, shortly after, the other car blew up.
Yeah. I mean,
Brundle is now readied up.
Oh, we're going.
Do you want to do the formation lap, mate?
I can do the formation lap, yeah.
Rightio. We'll come back to this discussion about classic F1 cars, because I do have to say it's quite a nice topic. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a second, but now, everyone, time we've been waiting for, especially if your name is RSF1 Vettel. Obviously, Vettel's not going to do an element snow formation lap where he's going to empty a lung trying to say Haas, but he's going to certainly make it entertaining for you. Vettel, take it away.
Right, so starting in P19 is Peachy Pig in the Alpha Tauri, or Torossa, whatever you want to call it. 18th is Parisi. I have to say, I was a little surprised to see him go out in Q1. 17th is XXX Beast Pro XX in the Ferrari, or formerly known as RSF1 Stroll. 16th is FR Milan, which is the greatest football team of all time. 15th is HCR Fearless in the Red Bull. 14th is Riplin One Shot in the Tracing Point. 13th is JJ Hudson in the other Red Bull. 12th is Z Daniel SKS, the SKF, not the Michael, in the McLaren. 11th is RSF1 Kuki in the Mercedes. 10th is XFR Peanut in the Alfa Romeo. 9th is in the Banana Car. 8th is Mini Biscuit in the Hayes. 7th is Lukey 1210 in the other Alpha Tauri. 6th is RSF1 K-Mag in the other Banana Car. 5th is Grunty in the Williams. 4th is RSF1 Brundle in the other Williams. 3rd is RSF1 X in the Alfa Romeo. 2nd is Brutal Reapers in the leading Tracing Point. And P1 is Shrimper 84 in the Ferrari.
Nicely done, and it is actually quite nice to see a Ferrari on top of the table. Kind of brings you back to some old days, back when red was the winning car, not silver.
Or black.
Or black, yeah. Well, they're still labelled the Silver Arrows, even though the cars are black.
Yeah.
But I think in 2021, I think they'll go back to silver. I think they went more for the black coloured livery purely for the fight against racism after what happened in early parts of 2020. But now, getting on to the start of the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's been a wet qualifying session all the way through except for Q3, which led to some very entertaining qualifying and good lap times being pushed out. And now finally, we can get to the key moment.
Wow, Stitching going for soft.
Very risky plays, but it's 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it looks like Schrimper gets a poor run off the line, and that allows Brutal Reapers to get right on the back of him going into turn 1. They both actually get a good distance away, but Williams goes down the inside. It's side by side between the Williams team. They push up. Stitchin still leads. Get a little bit of action.
Stitchin is still a couple of places. He's currently battling alongside Lukey for P5. It's
kind of unreliable. The game's messed up in the timing sheet. It's now fixing itself. Schrimper leads the Grand Prix. There you go. You can never keep track at the beginning of these races, but Ice has done good. He's pushed up. Let's get the quick position changes up. So people who've got... Oh, Peachy Pig's gone. And so is a Ferrari or Beast Pro.
Yeah, got damage as well on his front wing. Pig is... Don't think he's got damage. No, there's a missed end plate. Unless it's not. It's hard to tell.
Apparently Stitchin is 3 seconds behind his teammate, even though visually he's right at his gearbox.
Yeah, it's not reliable, so I probably wouldn't. Yeah, he's actually 3/10. You gotta refresh it. We're on lap 3.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're already on lap 3.
Oh, that's quite quick. I thought it was only the opening lap. Unless that's glitched as well.
I'm pretty sure we have hit lap 3. It only feels like we just started. Unless it has glitched.
Oh, right. Oh, no. It's just another game glitch.
I hate it when it does that, but it's a very good start there from Schrimper. Even though he got a lot of wheel spin off the line, he actually managed to keep Brutal Reapers at bay going into turn 1. But right now, it looks like Brutal Reapers is currently unfazed by this battle with Schrimper. He's staying right in his gearbox. A load of people selected the medium tyres, and as you pointed out, Stitchin picked out the soft tyres, which is interesting to say for the least at the moment. But this Racing Point is staying nice and close to the Ferrari. He's keeping him honest, but Meanwhile, Brundle is actually keeping a lot of pressure applied to Brutal Reapers, so the Williams are doing their fair share of work as well as the Racing Point.
Yeah, with Brutal Reapers setting the quickest lap of the race. Not using the DRS though. That's quite interesting to see, unless DRS has actually been enabled. Yeah, the lap's wrong. It is actually lap 3 now.
Okay, so the game's not finally corrected itself. It's lap 3 of 35, and Brutal Reapers is now still within a DRS range of the leading car of Shrimper. Meanwhile, Beast Pro and Peachy Pig are battling for second to last place. Oh,
Stroll
it's
getting the
so
move
close. It is medium versus hard tyre though, and Peachy Pig is at a disadvantage on those hards.
Yeah, it's very hard to keep the temperature in those the hard tyres, especially, well, not so much this track, but tracks like Monza where there isn't too much load you can put through the tyre, so it can be hard to get into that optimal window, and they're hard to keep in there as well. Another thing I should probably mention is, I believe when they downgraded the Ferrari engines finally in career mode, there is a glitch sometimes where it affects multiplayer as well on equal cars, where the Ferrari engine will be
considerably weaker.
Yeah, it has happened. Not sure whether it's fixed or not, so that might be something to look out for.
It may be the case, but Shrimper is still doing really good. I mean, he's pulled out tremendous lap times. So I think in this case it's... because I know this track is definitely not a power circuit, it's definitely an aero circuit. And Brutal Reapers in the Racing Point collect a 3-second time penalty. The first penalty of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I've been on board with Reapers for a while now. He has been pushing the track limits quite hard. So, stewards, well, the game stewards definitely doing their fair share of work. Yep, one shot with the penalty now. Both the Racing Points with a penalty at the moment. Track limits around Hungary are quite unforgiving.
HCR Fearless will go on board of him as now he's all over the gearbox of the Mercedes of FFR Milan. It's Red Bull versus Mercedes power at the moment, but it looks like at the moment... Ooh! Good save. That could have easily just gone into the wall, but a very good save from that snap there. And it actually looks like he might be able to get close. He's actually not choosing to use his ERS. He's choosing to use a DRS, which is fair enough, but he's saving the battery for when it really matters. So I think he knows that as long he just needs to make sure he nails down these mid sectors and stay close to that to that Mercedes. But very good work, because in two cases we've got a Red Bull attacking a Mercedes. You've got JJ Hudson behind Cookie, and you've got HCR Fearless behind Milan. So just like real life, Red Bull versus Mercedes.
Just not for the lead of the race.
Nope. Which is different to see.
Shrimper has actually pulled out a cap to Brundle with his first in the Terminator.
And Stidgen as well. Speak of the devil, you mentioned Stidgen. He collects his first penalty of the day.
And Beast Pro.
Beast Pro. Battle for 14th place is looking quite interesting, because over the course of the lap, HCR did not lose any time at all. He stayed perfectly behind Milan. Yeah, it looks like he's going to make the attack now. He's using the battery a little bit. No.
Milan looks to have quite a nippy car on the straight line.
All battle between the Williams for third place.
Runty getting the move done. Bit of contact. No damage.
There's no team orders in play here for these guys. They won. This is a genuine battle for third, but Williams can't afford to make it an incident between teammates, because that can be detrimental, first of all, to the overall team championship, and also it can affect the chemistry within the rest of the team.
It can, yeah. It looks like what Runty's had to do is he's had to dump all of his ERS to get by Brundle, and Brundle is in a considerably better situation when it comes to the electrical energy.
Oh, and Daniel's not crashed in the mid-sector. That's a safety car, most likely.
Not choosing to bring one out yet. It's a little bit off the circuit.
There you go, safety car. Medium tyre runners seem like they're okay. This is a good opportunity for Stygian. Because he just made it in time.
He's in the pits.
And this is bad for Shrimper. Shrimper doing an amazing job on pulling away from the car in second place actually loses his advantage.
Yeah, especially if he has a poor restart. I think Brutal Reapers might be able to get him on that long run at turn 1.
However, because it looks like Shrimper did majorly underfuel the car at the beginning of the Grand Prix, this is his chance to slap the car and lean and make up some fuel.
Yeah, and that's a big advantage with the safety car, especially if you're one of those guys to run it like a real F1 car, let's say, where you like to not use a lot of fuel during the race. But he might be a little bit vulnerable on the restart, though, if he has massively underfueled it.
He might be. As you can see, he's not going majorly quick. He's actually not applying a much rev, so I think he's actually majorly trying to conserve fuel to build it up, so he has more fuel to play with. But he's not actually weaving. He's not keeping heat in his tyres, which is definitely an interesting move here, because if he's not applying... There you go, he's now listened. I'm going to say, if you don't do some weaving and, like, you know, you're just going to sit there and try and conserve fuel, when the line, when the flags wave, the green flags wave, you're not going to have the optimum grip and temperature in the tyres to defend. In this case, he's got Brutal Reapers right behind him. It looks like Brutal's been somewhat on his temperatures as well. I can't do it here because it's too sharp of a corner to weave.
Where did Stygian come out? It came out in 15th.
It's not a bad spot though, because the whole pack is still nicely tucked up together.
I don't know whether that was a good decision. If he could have stretched the softs as long as the mediums, which isn't impossible, but if he had, he might have been able to do the 1-stop, which now he has definitely committed to a 2-stop. We'll see how that works out at the end.
Peachy Pig actually has been given a second chance now. After that first lap incident, he fell way down the back of the grid, and now Peachy has the perfect opportunity to retake some positions. And it's not often in a Grand Prix you tend to get yourself a second chance, even at last place. But yeah, Peachy now has it, and he can try and capitalise from this chance, or it can go bad again, depending on what happens in the following restart. But it's his to lose at the moment.
It sure is. Someone I didn't notice going to the pits was Muddy Biscuit. Maybe he had damage? Maybe it was contact with...
Oh yeah, he did!
Z Daniel. But he's boxed for the hards and is down in 16th. Not sure those hards will go in. I'm pretty confident about that. Safety car is in this lap.
27 laps, so he's got to get those hards going for. Right, now, this is where it really matters, and Shrimp has been given the perfect opportunity now to harvest some fuel in that safety car transition, but even in that, he's not actually made up enough fuel for his yellow warning light to come off. Brutal Reapers is waiting for the perfect opportunity to get going.
Shrimper got going? No.
Not yet.
I think
now he's going
on the track. Yeah, Reapers with a brilliant restart there.
Yeah, look at
side
that.
by side.
Immediate battle from the restart. Side by side going down to turn 1.
And down the inside goes Reapers. Gonna push the Ferrari wide. No. Yeah, bit of contact.
Oh my god.
With a slight, much better exit there.
I think that might be the fact that he's a much lighter car. which plays
but
into
Reaper's
hand.
going back at him now.
Better traction.
Yeah, that ride's a bit quicker in the straights, I think.
I think in terms of strategy, sorry, in the setup, Brutal Reapers has definitely got the better aero, but in the straight, Shrimper's got the speed, and it looks like we've got another incident down the bottom of the field. It looks like the Mercedes of RSF1 Cookie has just made...
He spun it.
Ah, no, and also HCR Fearless
No,
has
Fearless
fallen
is
quite far back.
Yeah, they're fresh hearts.
Oh! Ripping one shot has got
Rippling
wing
on
damage,
the grass.
and a virtual safety car has been deployed. So that will save 15 seconds for people pitting. I don't know if the medium... Oh, Shrimper!
Yeah, there's a McLaren without a big damage, breezy.
Shrimper tried to do a little bit of a reversal. They tried to trick the Racing Point into going into the pit. Person who's actually, as I pointed this out, has definitely made up a second chance. It's Peachy Pig. He went from last to 12th.
Stitching is in the pits. Okay. Do you have damage? Renault have got a front wing.
He did.
Yeah, Lukey bots in for hards and then for a new front wing. Quite a lot of people in the pits.
Yeah, Peachy Pig though perfectly took that second chance that I mentioned, and he's jumped to 11th place. He's actually one position away from being in the point scoring spot.
Yeah, Beast Pro is definitely on the 2-stop. He is under the hard tyre. So Pig is...
Beast Pro's on the soft tyre, isn't he?
Oh yeah, the soft tyre, yeah. Pig is actually looking in a very good position if he can get those tyres to the end, because all the guys ahead of him have pitted and they will fall behind him in the race.
Yeah. Peachy, Muddy Biscuit, and Beast Pro.
Oh,
but no,
Brutal
Beast Pro
Reaper's nearly
last
spinning it there.
I know, this is a good save. Yeah, I have to give them credit in their reaction times.
DRS
re-enabled. Not at this point though. Gruntashafy's actually getting on this action for the battle for first place.
Yeah, Grunt is showing some great pace in that Williams. Leaving Brundle behind by quite some margin, 8 tenths after two or three laps of pure racing. Yeah, it's a second now. Grunty is safe from the DRS.
And even as we go through this right-hander, Brutal Reapers has made up some serious time to the Ferrari. Stroll just collects a penalty. Shrimper goes very deep there, going through the chicanes in the mid-centre.
There, we've got a yellow flag.
Spinner.
Oh, it's Peachy Pig.
Oh, no! Peachy Pig was looking like he could have potentially have gotten out into the top 3. He didn't have that spin. To be fair, even if you have a good amount of practice, nothing can prepare you for a league race. A league race is a completely different cup of tea.
It sure is. I could have swore Peachy Pig was on the hard tyres, but apparently they're on the mediums.
He started on the hards originally, you know, when he first had that incident down the back of the grid, but then the safety car came out and he put on the mediums.
I think I was on about Money Biscuit.
Ah.
Who could be a net leader of the race after pit stops.
So the battle for third is still well underway. Brundle's now being pressured by Eitz and K-Mag. Oh my god! Careful of that curb, lads. And Lukey goes onto the fastest lap of the race on the hard tyres.
Yeah, Peachy Pig is still gonna race. He's gone onto the same hard tyres he started the race on.
He's got to rely on a safety car to bring him back into contention again.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know if he'll get that chance. We'll have to wait and see, but looking
HCR Fearless, 3-second time penalty.
DRS will be enabled now. Currently the only car who won't have the DRS assistance is Shrimper. up in front, and also Brundle's not close enough to his teammate to get into the DRS.
No, one Williams being compromised quite a bit. One putting the pressure on the tracing point, but the tracing point is also putting pressure on Shrimper.
Unfortunately, Brutal Reaper's not being close enough to make the attack, because as he got out of turn 1, he applied the throttle too quickly, and it didn't give him the ability to pull closer to Brutal Reapers. But what that's done is given Gruntastrophe a beautiful opportunity to make an overtake.
Yeah.
Right now, Grunt is just staying on the back of him, but he will. Oh, a little bit of a wobble there, but he's still fine. Brutal Reapers all race has had a couple of, has quite a few wobbles and has saved it.
Yeah, that racing point's looking very feisty on the throttle. Yellow flag sector 1. Who's that? Is it Stygian? It's Stygian. He's crashed.
No.
That's a lot of damage and debris on the track.
That might trigger a virtual safety car.
No, he's got it going again.
Bad day for Stygian and a bad day for Renault.
It has got by Brundle though. It has got by Brundle. Lukey
collects a 3-second time penalty. No, we were both on that one, Vettel.
Yeah.
it was both ready to
Currently,
do that one. But
biggest gainer out of the entire field is, well, currently it's Stroll and Milan, with Hudson picking up a quite healthy 6th place advantage over where he started. Still has to stop.
quite a lot of championship leader Muddy Biscuit has now finally gotten past Stroll. A Stroll actually looks like a... Oh, we got a spinner. That's Cookie.
Spinner. No damage for Cookie, is it?
They're too hot. Yeah, there's no damage. And Muddy Biscuit is now in a prime opportunity now to really make up some positions here. He's got 13-lap-old medium runners, all of the drivers ahead of him, and he's on 6-lap-old hards. This person here is going to capitalise on that beautiful momentum.
And Brundle going for the undercut. Undercut is quite powerful around Hungary, so they are ones to watch at the moment.
Muddy Biscuit moves up 2 positions after overtaking Brundle and Peanut in the pit lane. Stroll, a person who could have been one of the drivers to capitalise after a tremendous start, collect a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that has put a massive effect on Stroll's race now.
You mean Beast Pro, right?
Yeah, we call him Stroll though because he was Stroll, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh! Yep, Rippin' One Shot has moved up to 14th position after overtaking the Ferrari of Beast Pro and Stroll.
I'm not sure Muddy Biscuit's going to go to the end.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't think he is. 7 laps and people are only just starting to pit off the mediums. I think he may be on the 2-stop strategy here.
Oh my god, Lukey! Lukey just caught
that's
a
big
lost
crash.
the car, spun and hit the wall.
Yeah, nasty accident there. Thankfully
Lukey
keeping
got
out the way.
disqualified.
Driving the wrong way. It's not going to mess anyone else up, is it?
Oh my gosh.
Safety
Oh!
car?
Shrimper! Shrimper's now gone into the pits.
Yeah, Ike's racing him on exit, hitting
Oh,
the rear.
Brutal Reapers has just crashed!
Oh no. Does he?
Yeah, he went over the fast left-hander in Sector 1.
Oh, Ike's
spun
got
and hit the
damage. Ike's got damage. He hit the back of Shrimper.
Oh, things are just going bad to worse. And just to add on to it, the Renault, the Williams wasn't fighting. They're in contact.
Oh, Brundle's got Gruntly's got damage.
An aggressive move between teammates, and we said it was going to happen. I imagine there will be talks between the pair of them at the end of the race. I don't think the head of the Williams garage is going to be pleased with that move.
No, who is head of Williams? Is it?
I think it might be Camo.
Camo.
Camo won't be pleased with that, at least from what I can see.
No, that's good points down the gym there.
Yep, as one driver's now sustained damage. And meanwhile, XFR Peanut is in second place, gaining on Muddy Biscuit. Brundle has just shot up to P4.
Yeah,
and looks like Brundle's gaining on Shrimper.
No, it's not looking that way. He's lost a 10th in sector 1.
Ah, okay.
Hudson, though, has gone from P13 up to P5 now at the moment.
Very good racing there from him, and Brutal Reapers finally gets out onto the hard tyres. He didn't lose too... Well, he did obviously lose a wing, so he did lose time, but P8 coming back out on the hards, it's not essentially that bad.
No,
he's still got the ability to recover.
He's been quite lucky.
Oh my god!
Oh, is that Breezy? It was. Yeah.
Breezy just completely jumped that corner. And he almost collected the racing point with him. Yeah,
and he nearly took the Red Bull with him as well. Yeah, Brutal was only losing out to Hudson, K-Mag, Milan and Brundle, so it's not the worst for him.
In goes Peanut.
Interested to see where Peanut will come out with all of these guys having to pit again, especially drivers like Grunty, who are going to have to make a lot of... Oh, did he?
Yeah, Grunt's on P14 after his collision with Brundle. And...
it's something about that. He's going to have to fight his way back up.
I remember my first incident with a teammate. It was back in France in Season 2 when I was racing with my former teammate CCRO Weber, and during the race we already had a strategy planned where I was going to let him overtake me in team orders, but he accidentally broke way too late, hit me, spun me out. I went from battling for a potential podium to out of the points at that moment, and obviously afterwards I wasn't thrilled with that. It got sent in, and there was a big argument between myself and him and the rest of the Mercedes guys at the time, but I feel just because you're teammates doesn't mean you're safe from penalties or anything like that, or makes you exempt from incidents.
No, I've never actually had a problem with a teammate in this league. I've never really raced any of them, to be honest. Skunkburn I raced a bit in Season 2, but I never converted anything, so...
Actually, it is a real big question now. With Shrimpers catching Muddy Biscuit, can Muddy hold up Shrimper and maybe even give Brundle a contention for maybe even taking the race win today in Hungary?
Well, currently Shrimper has got no penalties and Brundle has got 2, I believe, so that might be a factor.
And the battle for 4th is now about to commence as K-Mag and JJ Hudson on similar life tyres. No matter of who can make the attack here or the defence. But yeah, JJ Hudson is holding on to 4th place, but K-Mag has... Actually looks like he's pretty quick.
Yeah, K-Mag qualified quite high, so I was expecting him to have a bit of pace. I imagine the Red Bull will not make it easy, especially when it's for 12 points, which for Red Bull, who are currently, I believe, 9th in the standings, aren't they?
Think so, yeah.
They need every point they can get at the moment.
That's a poor camera angle.
Yeah, I'm currently riding on board with Stygian.
Oh, battle for 6th is about to happen because Brutal Reapers, after having that wing damage, after he spun out in the first sector, is now challenging the Mercedes of FFR Milan. It's the works team versus one of the teams provided with their engines, and it doesn't look like Brutal Reaper. Yeah, it doesn't look like Brutal Reapers is actually going to be able to make the attack now. They'll have to wait for another moment.
Yeah, at the start of the season, the racing point did bother me a lot because there's no creativity in it at all. But I'm annoyed about it now, to be honest. Because it is a feat of engineering, copying another car, making it work, because most of the time when that's happened, it doesn't go well.
We have seen it quite a lot in the past. I think people tried to copy the Red Bulls car, didn't they?
Oh, Reapers has spun it, he crashed, yeah, that's his wing gone.
Ah. He was battling for the lead at one point, and now that's gone down the toilet for Brutal Reapers.
Yeah, unfortunately. So.
Hey, Mag.
He's not looking to move just yet. Maybe gets a good exit from this corner. Goes a bit under the curb. Hudson with not a bad exit, but it looks like Stygian is much faster at this moment in time. Tries to go round the outside. Been forced out a bit wide, but he's going to go for the cut back. Getting a nice exit, whipping on the overtake, trying to go round the inside. Hudson is not going to make this easy at all. Yeah.
Nah, he backs off. Very good attacks, though. Gotta give him it.
Yeah, he's trying. But this track, especially middle final sector, it's very hard to overtake.
K-Mag does want this position. Brutal Reapers is going to keep going even after his spin.
Yellow flag sector 2.
That might have just been a Ferrari going off the track a little bit.
Yeah, it's Beast Pro. It looks like he's spun it. Oh, he's spun it again. He's hit.
He just hit Ice. Good recovery from Ice, by the way. He got hit by the Ferrari, and it looked like he was about to go flying into the wall, but he managed to recover and save the car. And it looks like, even though he lost a little bit of time to the car in front, it's nothing compared to the full-on DNFing of smashing into a wall. So he has that ability to come back and fight still.
Yeah, currently we have 35 viewers. Thank you all for tuning in at the moment.
On board with Gruntastrophe going down into turn 1, challenging Ripin one-shots. And right now, it doesn't look like that Gruntastrophe can make the attack on Ripin at this moment. Ripin rides the curb there, the outside curb going into the next left-hander.
Yeah, that's why I like to do it Hungary.
I don't think Grunt has that ability to attack now. He's getting right on the back of him.
I'm not sure Grunt's going at the end. Maybe. Yeah, Grunt's probably got the end on those tyres. He's got nothing to lose.
I think Grunt is kind of fueled probably a little bit by frustration due to the collision with his teammate. So he's sort of...
Yeah.
I think right now he's gotten his head down, but I don't think he's happy at the moment underneath that helmet.
No, there's nothing worse than hitting your teammate.
So he's now looking to recover and bring home some points, but...
It's going to be a push, especially on those tyres. Breezy
We're
is
already
still
on lap 23?
Okay, he's got the move done.
Nicely done there by Grunt. Don't you agree, though? It doesn't feel like 23 laps has gone by. It only really feels like it's just started, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is one of those tracks, a bit like Monaco, where the laps just go so quick.
Brutal Reapers collects the fastest lap of the race, denying one of the leads the opportunity to take home an extra point.
Yeah, it can be quite important in the championship. Any form of championship that at one point has won it before. 2007 drivers. I believe there's a Constructors' Championship in the 70s which was won by a point. Or was it Nicky Lauda in 84 where he won by half a point, which is something you don't see anymore.
No, Kimi Raikkonen did win in 2000. I think it was 2000. Yeah, 2007. Kimi Raikkonen won the driver's title by a single point.
Peanut is all over the back of FFR Milan. Not getting as much as I think he'd want to on the straight. Milan pulling to the inside to defend. Oh, Peanut late on the brakes. Compromised exit there.
That was close.
Yeah, that takes torpedo literally there.
That took yours and my breath away. We're both like, oh my god, because that Alfa Romeo didn't stop.
No, that looked like a Kevin Magnussen move right there. Just sending it.
A-Mag's still sticking on the back of JJ Hudson. Beast Pro collect another virtual safety car.
VSC, who's that?
That was Beast Pro, he crashed.
Surprised that isn't a full safety car, to be honest.
Well, it is kind of off the track, isn't it?
I'm just riding on board with Brutal Reapers who should be passing the
Yeah, it is. It is off the track. It's mainly like debris, probably why. But this is not going to play well for Muddy Biscuit, because all Shrimper needs to do is take advantage of the green flags and he can make up time. Look at how close Brundle has caught back up to Shrimper because of this virtual safety car.
Yeah, the VSC is a little bit broken in this game, in my opinion. Because when it says safety car ending, you can go below your delta and it doesn't give you a penalty. Which I find a little bit stupid, because your delta should be positive even when it's ending. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Quite a lot there, losing 1.1 seconds per.
XFR Peanut is one of those people who got a good run out from the virtual safety car and almost had contact there with FFR Milan, so good work from both of them. But Peanut was one of those people who really did benefit from that.
Yeah,
especially after that late break.
Down 1.8 seconds on Muddy Biscuit, so Muddy Biscuit must not have been aware of the glitch where you can just speed during the where it says the ending.
And Brundle's falling back now. Brundle's now 0.3 of a second behind Shrimper.
Yeah, he's lost 0.3. It's nearly 3 seconds.
And Shrimper looks like he's actually struggling a little bit for pace. For a moment there, Shrimper had a full battery, or mostly full. Now his battery's dead.
Yeah, I think he's trying to cut down that gap to Muddy Biscuit as much as possible to try and get the DRS. I don't think Shrimper knows how well the Muddy Biscuit's tyres are. Muddy Biscuit has got another 9 laps on those tyres. It's going to be hard to keep them in the window.
Milan. Sorry to cut in there. Peanut almost did make the move going into the third corner, but Milan managed to get better traction coming out of it and kept Peanut at bay.
Oh, so Peanut losing the rear.
Saved it.
Yeah, losing a lot of time though. He's got to make that back up.
Good save, I have to say.
Yeah, very good save there. It's a very difficult corner to keep the car under control.
I managed to do it, and Peachy Pig collect a 3-second time penalty. Down in P15.
Yeah, he's nearly a minute behind. Shame, maybe if he hadn't spun it, would be a decent result for AlphaTauri, who has got car disqualified and won in P15.
Oh, K-Mag is really up the back of that Red Bull. JJ Hudson might now lose this position as K-Mag's going to send it down the inside.
Hudson still maintaining position with a nice exit from the corner as well.
Yeah, very nice work from the Red Bull, and I can tell K-Mag's getting a little bit frustrated, waiting. Yeah,
going wide a little bit. Probably picked up a warning for that. Peanuts bringing down that gap to Milan again very quickly.
He's fallen back though to a second. 1.2 seconds.
Grunty is 6/10 behind at Breezy, who most likely has to pit again.
Might not. Because Breezy's done 16 laps on those mediums. There's 7 laps to go. No, I think Grunt can take those to the end.
Yeah, I don't think Breezy can though.
Oh, battle going on between HCR Fearless and Rippin' One Shot. Quite one-sided though, because Rippin' One Shot's got 16 lap old hards versus Fearless's 1 lap old mediums.
Yeah, it should be easy pickings for the Red Bull.
Grunt pips 8th place from Breezy. So nicely done by Gruntastrophe. K-Mag, again, still staying nicely behind the Red Bull.
Yeah, must be getting a bit frustrated now. I think that may be why Peanut's making quite a few mistakes. Frustration, trying to get by that Mercedes, which clearly has quite a lot of straight line speed, but maybe not as quick as the Alfa Romeo in the corners.
Steerage has been in the chat. He's wanting to get back in his car and get back to racing.
Yeah, I bet Sturridge is a very quick driver, but he was here. One shot with a penalty.
One shot.
K-Mag's still behind JJ Hudson. Nowhere near close enough to make a move on the Red Bull.
Meanwhile, Peanut is still staying on the back of FFR Milan. Oh,
Yellow flag.
Pig again. Breezy pits into the soft compound tyre. I think he might get out ahead of the racing point of Rippin' One Shot.
I think that might be a good idea to have a look at the penalty situation.
Yeah, do you want to have a little look through the race director and let us know of the penalty situation?
Right, so Mini Biscuit, as per usual, has had a flawless race with not a single warning. Shrimper currently on 2 warnings. Brundle is on. He's only on 3 penalties. He picked one up this lap. JJ Hudson, only just 1 penalty. Maybe actually might jump Brundle due to them. K-Mag currently has just the 1. FR Milan has just the 1 as well. XFR Peanut has 2 penalties at this current time.
Oh! Contact, sorry to cut in. K-Mag finally made the move round the outside on JJ Hudson. They make contact and it sends JJ spinning around. K-Mag takes 4th, FFR Milan takes 5th.
But is Peanut going to get him?
Now, yeah, it looks like he might. The Red Bull tries to hold on. And Peanut moves up into 6th place, but unlucky for him.
Heartbreak for Red Bull.
Unlucky. JJ was doing brilliantly as well.
Yeah, if K-Mag can bring down the gap to Brundle significantly, he might be able to get a podium here.
Shrimper's just caught straight up to Muddy Biscuit.
Yeah, it's probably due to Muddy Biscuit's tyres being extraordinarily old.
Let's go back from the pens from K-Mag in 4th.
Right, okay. From K-Mag, Milan has 2. Sorry, just 1. Peanuts on 2. JJ Hudson has just the 1. Grunty has 1. Ikes has none at all. HCR has 2 penalties. One shot has got 3. And Brutal Reapers has... It's got 4 penalties.
Had an off in the mid-sector. I think that's Ites.
Yeah, it is.
A virtual safety car just got deployed.
Ites has got no front wing at all. Unfortunate for him.
And this is close to the end of the Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, this is
and that being a
helping
virtual
out,
safety car.
This is really helping out Winnie Biscuit. It helps squeeze out as much tyre life as possible.
That is big as well. The Ites just retired on the track. Is that terminal damage?
I think so, yeah.
I don't think the game's got enough safety cars anymore. Because we had quite a few virtuals and then a 1 safety car restart. 3 laps to go of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, Ites is a DNF from terminal damage checked.
Ah.
We're back away racing. Shrimper looking very feisty to try and get that win from Winnie Biscuit. I do not imagine Winnie Biscuit will make this easy at all, especially when he is championship leader. Winnie Biscuit in a lot better situation than Shrimper with not DRS, ERS.
Still making the most of this opportunity to attack a car that's on 9 lap harder hards, but basically 9 lap more worn hards. Sorry, what the hell am I saying? I've had a long week. But the Ferrari is getting closer and closer, but not able to make an attack.
Yeah, just a bit too far back from Winnie Biscuit.
Because he has to make this count, and he's got to do it carefully, because all this hard work he could be putting in to take the win of the Hungarian Grand Prix in his Ferrari could be underdone by a mistake, so he has to time this right.
Yeah, I can't imagine Muddy's tyres being very nice at all. He must be well into the puncture territory.
I think Brundle now might just keep third place, considering K-Mag just collected a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I think he's comfortable P3 at the moment, even with all the time penalties.
Apparently, well, how many penalties did Milan have again? Like, was it 2?
It was 2. Yeah.
So JJ Hudson could still jump him, even after that nasty contact with K-Mag. JJ might retake 5th place.
What happened to Peanut? He was right behind JJ Hudson and
Peanut appeared onto the soft tyres. He's going for the fastest lap of the race.
Alright. Not sure that was the best.
Second. But it wasn't probably the best idea, because that's probably why I was surprised to see JJ Hudson back in 6th place.
Money Biscuit's still holding on for the lead with those very old tyres.
I think someone said in the chat 26 laps is puncture territory.
Yeah, Money Biscuit must be.
And there it is. Fastest lap of the race to XFR Peanut. So right now, Peanut will be taking home that extra point.
Well, this game can be very cruel. Don't call it just yet the win.
Final lap of the Grand Prix, and this is huge because Shrimp has had the pace all of the day really. He had great qualifying pace. He'd been leading the Grand Prix for most of the time, but then Muddy Biscuit pitted onto the hard tyres earlier on in the race. Is defending admirably against Shrimper in the Ferrari. Shrimper may have the younger hard tyres, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to take the win as of the moment, as we are going through the first sector.
Yeah, he's too far back. Muddy cannot afford penalties at all.
Peachy Pig has finally decided to say enough is enough. No, he retired in the pits, actually.
Good. It's nice to see people reading the rules.
And even after defending for so much, it looks like this is finally going to go Muddy Biscuit's way as he goes through the third to last corner. Shrimp is still on his back. The championship leader is struggling for grip by the looks of this. And now round the last corner we go with Muddy Biscuit in the Haas. He's going to cross the line. And Muddy Biscuit wins. He wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Shrimper second, Brundle third. Now this is where we've got to really keep an eye out for, because K-Mag now crosses the line. Does he take third from Brundle?
No.
No, he doesn't. Brundle keeps his P3.
Take P4. No. Hudson stays 6th and Grunty 7th, with the other Red Bull FHCR Fearless 8th. 9th looks to be ripped in one shot, but I do believe he has quite a few penalties, so maybe we'll see Peanut get 9th, picking up 3 points for Alfa Romeo. No,
Peanut stays 10th.
And a Cookie's 12 seconds behind Peanut, so I believe this is going to be the finishing order. Unless we put...
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, it stayed as is.
And a nicely done Hungarian Grand Prix, and congratulations to Muddy Biscuit for taking the win after a poor qualifying session and capitalising, and gets into winning the Grand Prix. The championship leader extends his lead in the battle for the driver's title, and Muddy has proven once again his consistency as a driver in F2.
Yeah, no doubt. Muddy probably didn't think after qualifying that he would be on the top step of the podium. But hitting under the safety car and taking those tyres to the end has really helped him. I think that's what's won him this race. Making sure he kept those tyres in good order and not picking up a single warning all race. So,
and now going over the classification for the race, taking the win after starting 8th is Muddy Biscuit, and well done to him for taking pole. Shrimper started in first, he finished 2nd, so it was a very good effort, but he didn't get it at the end. Brundle takes 3rd, and K-Mag takes 4th. Milan 5th, JJ Hudson 6th. A very good recovery from JJ Hudson, especially after that contact previously. Grantastrophe 7th, Fearless 8th, One Shot 9th, Peanut 10th, Cookie 11th, Brutal Reapers 12th, Peachy Pig 13th, Ice 14th, Breezy 15th, Beast Pro 16th, Lukey 17th, Stygian 18th, and Daniel completes the final car of the finishing order, and that has been a really entertaining race. So we've got Muddy Biscuit in first, just waiting on Shrimper and Brundle, but would you be okay if I done 3rd, you do 2nd, I do 1st?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, we'll just wait for the rest of the guys to get in. If you guys want to vote for your driver of the day, make sure to check out our Twitter page, Racing Series F1, where the vote will be up momentarily, where you'll be able to pick your driver of the day. I think potentially a person who deserves a potential spot for driver of the day is Muddy Biscuit, but obviously you have to wait and see.
He
definitely
gained 11 positions.
JJ Hudson as well. That's another one. We have 40 viewers, by the way, so thank you very much for 40 viewers. Is Brundle not joining? And
I've sent the invites.
I think they might just be having words maybe with his teammate before joining us. It's hard to say. Shrimper as well. I don't know what's happening to them. I don't know why they're not joining.
Oh, here's Brundle.
There we are. And now we just got to wait for the man in 2nd place. So, while we wait for Shrimper quickly, I'll interview Brundle, and if Shrimper doesn't join, I'll let you interview Muddy. Right, Brundle and Muddy Biscuit, welcome to the podium party. Make sure you've included your audio. Brundle, very mixed qualifying and race for you. Obviously, the wet conditions didn't make it easy for you and your teammate in the qualifying, but it looks like a little bit of tension between you and your teammate during the race because contact resulted in your teammate falling way down the back of the grid, and it doesn't look like you both were playing team orders. It was more fighting for the position. Are you not really? Are you feeling more competitive against your teammate?
In that situation, I realised from the incident with like Shrimper and himself, which he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I felt really sorry for him because he was having a good race. I thought we're not in the same part. We used to be a few weeks ago. We're not in the same Xbox party anymore. And that's just the way it's turned out. I thought you had that point, and I thought going into that particular corner, I thought he would have backed out of it. But that's just that incident. We'll settle it. It's fine in that situation. I just feel really sorry for him that he got caught up in what that happened in turn 3.
Well, regardless of the collision with your teammate, you did manage to bring home another podium, which is, I imagine, you feel quite happy with.
The last 3 races have just been god awful. Absolutely awful. France, no points. Obviously, no points in Austria because of that happened, and then no points Silverstone. It was just, and even qualifying as well. I don't know whether you caught me. I crashed at the end of Q1, hit Breezy at turn 5, then I crashed in the pit lane in Q2. So I was lucky twice to be.
Luckily, we didn't catch that, so you're safe from that.
I was lucky I got through Q1 at the end of it as well, because I meant to put on inters and it put me out on full wets. So I should have been eliminated at the end of Q1, but hopefully now the bad luck is gone. But it's a humble podium because Lights and Grunt should have been ahead of me on pace. But I was there, and I'm happy. I'm happy end of the day.
Well done on a very hardly fought P3. It wasn't an easy race for everyone, but Williams did manage to get a good result with Grunt managing to get a nice P8 as well as you getting a P3, so that's not nothing. So it's a very good point score for the Williams team, and well done, Brundle. Nicely under third place. And now I'll hand over to Vettel to interview Shrimper.
Shrimper, you led near enough every session. You got pole, right in luck to be on the wall for you to win, but you just couldn't get by Biscuit with his great strategy call. Any comments?
Bug. I couldn't get past him on that straight. I used up too much ERS early on with Brutal Reapers behind me pushing me. I made too many mistakes early on, so I had to use more ERS to try and keep in front of him, and then lost me at the end. But Buddy done that many laps on the hards, kept it to the end, so that's your win, man. You deserve that, hands down.
Right, okay then. I'll hand it back to Promise to interview the race winner.
Muddy, before we even talk about your qualifying in your race, well, we've got to talk about one thing. How the hell are you that consistent where you got through the Hungarian Grand Prix and all its mayhem today and not even collect a single warning? You are probably the most cleanest driver I've ever seen in terms of warnings.
Yeah, I've not got a corner cutting penalty all season, and I think last season I only got 4 in the whole season. So I think if I just try to keep it within the white lines, and that's normally the easiest way to avoid penalties.
Right, so now let's talk about your qualifying. Obviously, the rain did not make it easy. It was very difficult. Everyone struggled. No one could figure out if it was wet conditions or intermediate tyres. They couldn't figure out which one to go on. But then Q3 came along, and it still looked like, it was hard to really put the nail on the fastest driver. But then, obviously, Shrimper took pole in Q2 and pole again for the start of the race. But then your pace throughout, even after the safety car restart, you kept those hard tyres going to the end. I imagine they were dead. And you held up a car that had 9-lap fresher hards. I don't know how you did it, but that was a tremendous race. But tell us how it was in your end, mate.
Yeah, so qualifying, obviously, with getting dry throughout the session, it was sort of a 1-lap shootout at the end. I didn't really maximise my lap. Thought maybe I could got 1 or 2 more places more. Started probably 6th if I had got the perfect lap, but I dropped off a few places. I think I was 10th by the end of lap 1. I sort of braked a bit too early into turn 1. Took the gamble. The safety car was at lap 6 or 7. I pitted onto the hards. I knew the hard, if you kept looking after them, could do 30 laps. So I knew it was just right on the cut off of whether I could make it. So the first sort of 5 tyres, and then I saw one Shrimper and everyone else who started on the medium pitted, and I saw them catching me like 7 or 8 times a lap. So I knew I just had to push and pick up pace, and I think by the end my tyres were sort of on 63%.
I thought they were much higher than that, to be honest.
No, I take a setup which sort of looked after my tyres, which I knew if I did that I could then do like what I did today and then do a slightly alternate strategy, knowing overtaking was so difficult.
Well, it was a very nicely done strategy, because when all the front runners finally pitted off their medium tyres and you was on your hards, you suddenly just were out on top. You was the one who was laughing at the end. Shrimper did do a very good job on catching you, but unfortunately on this track, it's one thing catching them, it's another overtaking them.
Yeah, definitely. I knew it was going to be so hard to overtake. I just saved up my battery. I think by the time he'd caught me, I was still on like 65-70% ERS. So
Yeah.
I just down the straight, I just blasted it, and I saw each lap he didn't get a great exit out of turn 1, so I didn't have to use any down the second straight, which meant it saved me a bit, and I think I was just able to blast it down the front straight each time.
Well, congratulations on P1, and you've now extended your lead within the Drivers' Championship. Are you feeling confident that you could take this home with you?
I thought I was second in the championship. I thought
Wait.
Shrimper, yeah, I think I was 7 points behind Shrimper before today, so I think we might be tied. I don't know actually who got fastest lap.
Because Peanut took the fastest lap, so that means, because it's a 7-point difference between P2 and P1, if that's the case, you're tied.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very close season this season, I think, especially as we seem to be both very consistently picking up podiums and top 5s each race, so I think it could definitely go a long way.
So now here's an important question for the pair of you. Do you think you both could take this to the end of the season, or do you feel that this could be ended maybe around Brazil?
Obviously, you don't want to take it to the last race, but I feel like we're so closely matched, and also other drivers are so closely matched that this probably will go down to the very last race, or as close to possible as we can get it.
Shrimper, how do you feel about this championship battle?
Well, I'm hoping I just don't make any mistakes. I mean, if you've got that sort of pace to take those odds, that length of time, and you're only on 60% worn tyres, that I can't compete with that.
What were
That's
your
amazing.
tyres at, Shrimper?
I have no idea. I didn't even check. But
Mine,
I mean, what was it? You said you were in 60%.
mine's 52. I'm 52. I'm not that very good on tyre wear, but Muddy went 8 laps longer than me, and his is only 10% more, so...
So that just really shows that you are both aggressively pushing. Muddy was kind of pushing to keep you behind him, but he's just been nursing the tyres practically. Even from the safety car restart, he was looking after them because he knew he had to finish on those tyres. And Vettel, I can quote you that you said that those tyres would not get to the end, and he proved us wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I would never be able to get them 27 laps. I think I would have got a puncture about 30, I think. So, yeah,
Yeah.
big respect to
That's
Muddy there.
crazy.
But you, Maddie, you had no warning either. Not a single warning.
No, I was keeping it, especially turn 4 and the sort of the quick corner before the second sector split. Yeah, I was just making sure to keep it within the lines.
Oh, I had no chance in. I had 2 warnings. Well, I checked the race director. I had 3 warnings, but no penalty. So I don't know how that happened.
It probably was a contact warning you might have had somewhere. It's happened to me before. But anyways, tremendous driving from a lot of the guys in F2. That has been the Hungarian Grand Prix. If you want to see more F2 action, you're going to have to tune in next Sunday for the Belgium Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to that one, when these guys duke it out on Spa. Probably one of the longest tracks in terms of miles on the F1 calendar, and also it's had its fair share of action back in Season 1 and 2, so please tune in next week if you want to see more F2 action. But if you want to see more Hungarian Grand Prix action, tune in tomorrow. I think it's F3 duke it out. So tune in tomorrow at 8 PM on Monday to see F3 fight in the Hungaroring. But in the meantime, Vettel, thank you again for joining me tonight. It's actually been a pretty good one.
Yeah, been a brilliant race.
Yeah, and again, this is why I love the Hungaroring, because it's such a nice track. It's difficult because a lot of people did pick up penalties, and there was quite a few incidents, but it's just a nice track, and I can't wait to see more action around it, and eventually my turn. But in the meantime, everyone, that has been the Hungarian Grand Prix. To go over the classifications one more time before we wrap up, in P3 was RSF1 Brundle in the Williams. In second place, only just second place to Schrimper in the Ferrari, and then taking the win after a clean Grand Prix is Muddy Biscuit in the Haas, who now ties up the championship battle with the Ferrari driver. So it's a Ferrari powered fight for the championship. And yeah, everyone have a good day, and please take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.